people, working with the folks in each venue. But when I went to Guatemala, it was totally different. We were actually immersed in the society, in the culture, rather than just seeing somebody for a night and then we go on to another city. And in that respect, it was totally different than anything I expected.
That's neat. Uh, what would you say you learned from being immersed in the culture? I mean, what was it that kind of you went, wow, this is different?
Well, I learned that I was very in a very sheltered life being here in the U.S., not being involved in any personal work with missions. Uh, Totally interested in missions, but never really actually being there, immersed into the society, the culture, the people, and the kids as well.
That's something that I have discovered is very difficult to come home and share with other people. It's one of those things that until you've done it, it's just too difficult to explain because nobody they don't get it.
I totally understand with that because unless you're there, like you say, um, it's very hard to verbalize it. I should say because it's in your heart. It's in my heart now.
Well, now we worked with several different ministries in Guatemala while we were there, and some was with kids, and some were evangelistic concerts in churches. Um, uh, how did this project impact your life? What were the things that came out of this project that you brought home and you couldn't wait to tell your wife about it?
Oh wow, so many things. I was babbling on, and I just couldn't say enough words to explain what I had just gone through. It was absolutely amazing. The whole experience was way beyond just an impact. It was a deeper thing than that. It was down in my soul, I should say,
Well,
and my spirit.
well, tell me some things you shared with her.
Well, one of the things that happened to me when we were there, in playing my trumpet, you've got to be totally focused on the conductor and on the music, and not looking around the surroundings. But when we were playing Santo, 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 the words were up on the screen. We were reading those. We were singing some of the words until we actually had to play. And the tears in my heart came to the surface, and they were in my eyes, and I was having difficulty playing my trumpet. I did anyway, but it was tough. The emotions were so high. Working with the other believers there, whether they were singing in Spanish or English.
Yeah, it's quite an experience, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Tell me about I'm talking about impact in your life. Was there anything in working with the kids and the in the ministry that we worked with at Union Church that touched you?
Uh, it impacted me to the point where I didn't want to leave, and if I did leave, I wanted to come back and stay. And I even spoke to the pastor when I was there briefly and asked him what his needs were. And I need to get in contact with him and see whether that's something the Lord may lead us to do in the future or in the near future to actually do some more um, immersing down there in that culture there and actually living there for a time at least.
So you're talking about going back to Guatemala to be there for a little while.
Oh, absolutely. I left my heart in San Francisco. No, I know I left my heart in Guatemala.
I love that. I have to be honest with you. I leave a little piece of my heart in Guatemala every time we go, so I know what that feels like. Anything else? Any of the other things that we did that were really unique to you, like the concert with the choir and everything?
Oh, that was absolutely amazing. I tried to describe that to people here in the States, but unless you actually hear it personally, you're actually there. It's not the same watching it on video or something. It's not part of you. But yeah, being surrounded by all those chorus members from all over Guatemala, 300 plus, plus our orchestra, the other singers that were with us. It was an experience of a lifetime.
And most of our listeners that are listening to us today, probably none of them were there in Guatemala, so they don't even know what happened that night. Do you want to touch on that? Actually, to the detail.
Well, we were in a gymnasium, rather large gymnasium, and we were surrounded in the bleachers by the singers. And we got there just in time to hear them warming up. I actually videoed a little bit of that because it was such an experience to watch them just getting ready for the concert. And they've been getting ready for some months, from what I understand. And we just got there and jumped in and got it all together.
Now that was, of course, that was after the ferry ride across the 12 miles of lake to get there.
Yes, that was an experience in itself. That was a rather large lake. And then when we got to the other side, we had to walk nearly a mile uphill with all our instruments to get to the hotel, and then run over to the gymnasium to get ready to rehearse a little bit and then put on the concert.
Now, you alluded to the size of the choir being over 300. It was about 360 strong of Guatemalan singers, all Guatemalan, singing in Spanish. And it really was a powerful evening to hear God's message shared so boldly through the music.
Oh, yes, it was very good to hear. It was something you probably wouldn't experience here in the States as well as you would in another country, where it actually is deeply embedded into your spirit and flows out through your lips.
Yeah, one of the other kind of unique things that happened that night too was that some of the we call them kids. There were some teenagers in early adulthood. They made the trek for like over 4 hours of driving just to get there for that concert that night. Those were some of the kids that we ministered to in Guatemala City at Union Church.
Right, that was great to see them show up there, because that was no easy trek to get there. Just going across the lake was hard enough, but driving, must have been tough for them. But they did the trip because they felt like it was worth it.
Absolutely. Well, tell me this: what I know you've already touched on some of this, but maybe there'll be something else that'll come to mind. What would you have missed out on if you had not gone on this project?
Well, the camaraderie that I would have missed, our group getting together and just in one rehearsal, and then jumping into the concert tour, as you put it, as you would put it. We played together so well. I was very excited about that because of our love for the Lord and His love for us. Our love for Him showed through our instruments as we played.
Yeah, I believe that absolutely. For anyone who's actually watching this interview today that maybe has never gone on a GMP project, you may not know that this particular team was an orchestra team, and we don't have any rehearsals here in the United States because the orchestra members come from all over the country. And so we don't have an opportunity for a rehearsal before we leave. We have one rehearsal when we land, and make sure that we're as secure as we can be on about 20 pieces of music, so that we're ready to serve the Lord with it as quickly as we can. And it's quite a process to see it happen. And yet we see God put it together every single time. It's always amazing.
Well, when I've tried to describe that to other instrumentalists and my pastor and other people, one of the concerts we played virtually every piece that we had. And I said we played 19 pieces. I counted them, and they go, "Wow, how could you play that many pieces back to back without stopping?" I said, "Well, we did it. God gave us the strength to do what we needed to do."
Absolutely. Well, Charles, it has been great to have you here with us today. I'm so thankful for what you're willing to share with us.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And I can't wait to get together with you folks again.
I love that. For all of our GMP folks that are listening today and watching today, I want to encourage you on something. We're always trying to grow our tribe. to grow our participants, to have more and more people travel with us at GMP to the many different countries that we go to. We'll be in 8 countries in 2023, and sharing the gospel with people and encouraging the church. Those are our 2 main things that we do. And so you can be a help to us. And I want to encourage you, if you will, to share this video on your Facebook pages so that people will have a chance to hear from one of our participants about what takes place on these projects. And that would be a great blessing to us for you to do that for us. It really does make a difference when you share this information out on the public forum with your friends, and even in a public way. And I want to say this too: if there's a topic that you would like to have us discuss during one of these interviews or times each month, please make comments in the below in what you're watching right now, and let us know some things that you'd like to hear about. Well, once again, great to be with all of you today. Charles, thank you so much for sharing. And I look forward to seeing, hopefully, many of you who are watching today joining us on a project again soon. God bless you all, and may God continue to bless GMP and Charles.
Hasta la vista.